I think you're having James Fishback on Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna have him on with some girls.
Oh, wow. So he's really trying to get some content. James Fishback is dedicated to the content strategy. I think he definitely took a page out of Zohar Mamdani's election campaign strategy and is really ramping up the social media content. I did not expect some guy who might be the future governor to be sitting there on a panel with girls.
Yeah. No, I thought it'd be because when I was gonna bring him on, I was like, dude, it would be hilarious. Cause I saw obviously what he was going back and forth with Sophie Rain. So I was like, yeah, this would be hilarious to fucking.
Bro, that's a big guess. Make sure that you have make sure you read the chats that night. You want to make sure that there's no slip ups. I'm looking forward to that. So James, he was just on the stream the other day. I really like James Fishback. He's a Catholic guy. He keeps sticking up for the right issues. He hasn't said anything I disagree with yet. He said something about Matt Gaetz yesterday when he called in. He was saying that he wanted Matt Gaetz to release the Epstein Files. Why do you think he would say that?
Because Matt Gaetz was going to be the Attorney General, or he was the first person that was picked by Trump to be the Attorney General prior to Pam Bondi, but he didn't want to do it because he had all these allegations. He didn't think he was going to get confirmed by the Senate. I think he should have done it. If they confirmed Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel, I think they would have confirmed him too. But I guess he just didn't want to deal with the headache of getting grilled at the in the confirmation hearing. And he's one of the few people, hypothetically, if he had joined the Trump administration, he's one of the few that doesn't take AIPAC money. He's probably the only one.
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I think.
So that's why he singled him out instead of Pam Bondi or Kash Patel?
Yeah, I think he would have been a better Attorney General too, personally.
Okay. So now...
But this whole Epstein file debacle, dude, there's so many people that are responsible. Like, I make fun of Pam Bondi all the time. I call her Pam Blondie. But, she shouldn't be the only one getting blamed. This is a fuck up from the whole administration. This is a fuck up from the Trump perspective, FBI, Tulsi Gabbard, Ratcliffe from the CIA. Like, there's so many different components here that are responsible because of the level of, guy that Jeffrey Epstein was. To just blame it on the FBI is kind of disingenuous. It's so many different government agencies that fucked up as well, because the FBI only has a part of the pie. They're not going to have all the CIA and DIA and NSA documents that I know inevitably were probably somewhere for Epstein based on just who he was. Whenever you're
DIA or DEA?
DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, major mistakes.
I can explain if you want.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the way first, and I'll explain it more for your audience. I think me and you have talked about a lot of this stuff before, but I'll explain it for your audience. So in the world of government, right, you have law enforcement, then you got intel. Both of these entities are completely different. So on the law enforcement side, you're trying to gather evidence to be presented via discovery in a court where someone is going to get convicted, and this evidence can be presented to normies on a jury, right? So that means classified information typically doesn't go into criminal investigations unless it's declassified. On the other side, you got intel, where their job is to collect information, typically on foreign nations and adversaries, so that we can be winning the information war to have tactical advantages, right? Now, when it comes to, because a lot of people conflate the CIA and the FBI, the CIA is an intelligence agency that's focused on international issues. The FBI is an intelligence agency that's focused on not just intel, domestically only, but also law enforcement. CIA does not have the law enforcement component. So when you take someone like Jeffrey Epstein, who has many different hats, on one end, he's a human trafficker, which is a criminal matter, but then on the other end, he's also an asset for a foreign intelligence service. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have two different files for Epstein, right? For me to explain this in the simplest way. You're going to have what's called a high side or a classified file, and then you're going to have a criminal file. So the criminal file, that's going to be maintained by the Department of Justice and the FBI, that covers his human trafficking, connections to that human trafficking, etc. Now, during the course of this criminal investigation, more than likely, the FBI also encountered derogatory intel information that's held not just by the CIA, but by the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, the NSA, National Security Agency, who does, signals intelligence, and all these other different intel components. There's like 33 different intelligence agencies in the United States. Now, based on who Jeffrey Epstein was, each of these different intelligence agencies probably had a file on Epstein based on what he was doing. Now, the reason why I say it's, you're only looking at part of the picture by blaming Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Somebody just rated us. Thank you, Josie. I appreciate that. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So sorry about that. Thank you, Josie. So, what was I going to go with this? Okay. So the FBI only has a limited purview of what Epstein was involved in from the intelligence angle. They're not going to have access to the NSA and the DIA components because the government is extremely bureaucratic for this, right? Everyone's competing. Everyone doesn't want to share information, blah, blah, blah. So when I say this isn't just a fuck up from the FBI, what I mean is the entire intelligence community needs to be held accountable too, because I know that they have content and information on Jeffrey Epstein based on him being a foreign operative. By him being a foreign operative, I know for a fact CIA, DIA, and NSA at bare fucking minimum are going to have a file on this guy, and we haven't seen those. So that's why I put the blame on the entire IC versus just the FBI.